Di ba? Muna yung nakanindot prepara Ingon ang lima hangin iya gyapon ang muna mga kalambo karong mga panahon ha atangin mga oh, sa atangin samtang Samtang mga kalambo, di pa makuha. Siguro siya karon pag di ba? Dekado pag gini. Ay, giliman ka mga kalambo, kagayan di o. So di na angay kumpiyansahan ba? Di na angay mga kalambo nga kanabitong nga Muna ma Nyeba Nah, tunggu. Oy, by the way mga kalambo, pila ba to kasako na mo na. Anyway, ako nang hinabion Muna na ligayad, di mo na mabasa-basa nyo. Abi ninyo ka, madaldan. Ato LAMBO Misamis Oriental. Samtang by the way, okay na, engineer? Okay, so ato sa ipas pagkaslawak mga
Pwede ka madukan ang mga dagat o ginamit mo kahanginan mo. May mga hiyas ka, pilin na taitan galing sa tanan. Asitak sa dila mo, ihanan sa kalibang mo. O bakito niya o ang adaw o lagyan ka o. Sula mahaya mo, among nila, ang sa'yo ang halan mo. Ang isaad ng mundang nagbalan ko sa pamatalong hanggang kami.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, we praise and worship you for being our Creator and Savior. Thank you for blessing us with this wonderful gift we call life. Thank you for giving us another day, another opportunity to appreciate all your creations. Father, we ask your forgiveness for all our sins and shortcomings. May today be a new chance for all of us to follow your teachings. Guide and protect our families and world. We are children and loved ones be in good condition when we are away. We ask you, Father, to bless us as we do our work and all our undertakings today. May we find pleasure in serving the people, because we know that by serving them, we are serving you. As we are about to start on our week of public service, let good governance reign in this institution. We pray that the spirit of social justice, good ethics, and accountability prevail in the decisions of our leaders. All this we ask in your glory. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Alimot, ipataas ang inyong tuong kamot, usulod kamo kanako. Ako, Pilipino, kinasingkasing manumpa, sa bandila sa Pilipinas, na timaan sa nasod, na adunay dulog, justisya, o kagawasan, na ipalihog sa katilingban, ng Diyos mo, kinaiyahanon, tawahanon, o masudlon.
Malipog, balik sa kasing buong kamot, ug sunod kamo kanako alang sa panunumpa sa mamumuo sa kagamhanan. Ako mamumuo sa kagamhanan. Akong kaapungan ang magalagad na magilid-anon ug malinaw. Tungod niini, sa iyo ako masulod sa trabaho.
Sa iyo ako musunod sa trabaho.
ug kung kinahanglan,
Kung kinahanglan,
duganan ko ang mga oras sa trabaho.
tumagan ko ang mga oras sa trabaho.
Walagad ako mga tinahuron o sa walay paglangan.
Mulagan ako magtinulog sa walay kailangan.
Ako ang pingan ang mga gamit ug pagtangan sa kagamhanan.
Ako mag-iwan ang mga gamit at pagtangan sa kagamahanan.
Himuon kong makiangayon
Noon ko ang ilangayon
ug magtatarunganon
kung maaaral
ang akong pag-abi-abi sa tanang butuo sa among buhatan.
akong pag-abi-abi sa tanang mundo sa aming buwatan.
Musulti ako dahil sa kahilian
Sulit ako dahil sa kaluhiyan.
ug subak sa balaod ug mga abuso.
Subak sa dalaw at mga abuso.
Dili ako mabawat og suhol ug kwarta,
Hindi ako madawat sa sulod o kwarta.
dili ko gamiton ang akong katungdanan
Hindi ko gamitan ng aking katundanan
para sa paugalingon akong kaayuhan.
para sa pagkalunan ako kaayuhan.
Maningkamot ako nga matubangan ang akong kahigalo
Manikamot ako na magawagan na ako ng ilalo.
ug buhaton ko taman sa akong mahimo.
Buhaton ko taman sa akong mahina.
Aron ang gintang sa pagserbisyo sa lalawigan,
Ayaw kita sa pagservisyo sa lalawigan.
padayon nga mapalambo.
Padayon sa mga lambo.
Tungod kay namumuo ako sa kagamhanan,
Ngunit kayo mamuno ako sa kagamahanan.
akong kaakuhan ang tinuray na pag-alagad sa katawhan.
Ako na ang tinulay ng paglalagad sa katawan.
Ako ug akong kauban ng mamumuo,
Ako ang kaluban ng mga mamuno.
kinahanglan na magalantaw sa malambuon
Nahakyan magalataw sa malambuon.
o malinawon nga nasod sa Pilipinas.
At malinawan na naso sa Pilipinas.
Ug atubangan kanatong tanan,
Katubangan na natin tanan.
kinasingkasing ako ang musaat ni inyong tanan.
Nasingkasin ako sa aking Pilipinas.
May tanong-tanong sa tuwang anak bayan, sulat sa iyo o sulat sa iyo, mao ang lalawigan. Sabihin sa bata na tao ang katawan, bukan ang mga nagtutan, bukan ang tugilan, ang inyong pamikiran, napagulakyahan, hindi ang ampingan. Maganda lang lalawigan, Misamis Oriental, ikaw ang mahal. Magkita sa ako, mga gilitan at ang makalang na bulahan. Misamis Oriental, ang lalawigan, Misamis Oriental, ikaw ang mahal. Magkita sa ako, mga gilitan at ang makalang na bulahan. Ang makalang na bulahan.
Maayong buntag sa tanan. Let me continue educating you how the COVID-19 spreads and how one can contract the virus. The province, kung ako pang ginaingon, nabahinan gayud kita sa COVID-19. We have 3 unindigenous confirmed cases, 1 from Libertad and 2 from Hingoog. These are all imported cases. They are all doing well, which means to say they are all in a stable condition, and one of them will be home today. Last week, I said, you reduce the risk of infection by 80% through practicing social distancing, and by 85%, you reduce the risk of infection of the virus by using face masks, especially covering the nose as the virus lodges more on the nasopharynx rather than in the mouth. The virus spreads easily between people. The practice of hand washing with soap and water for 20 seconds with the correct hand washing technique is even more important than alcohol use. Let me repeat this. Hand washing with soap and water is even more important than alcohol use. You need a palmful of alcohol, not just a spray of alcohol or a drop of alcohol, which is a very common practice, to apply in your hands, and when the alcohol is dried up, you need to rinse your hands with water. If you don't want to practice this, I challenge you to come up with the better ideas that any one of us may follow. We have distributed thermometers for active surveillance on ILIs, which can also be a symptom of COVID-19. And when you say close contact, which we usually use in contact tracing, it means you are infected with a person for 15 minutes, 48 hours before the first symptom manifested and within 6 feet away. So, face mask is very important. Now, it has been raining. All of us must be very careful not to catch any of the ILI symptoms as COVID-19 is on the rise. We have done so much with preventive measures. We have been lecturing on how you may get infected. This is now survival if you have never heard and practiced what me and the very honorable good governor of the province of Misamis Oriental, Governor BAMBI EMANO, have always been emphasizing just to secure your health. We now have prepared a self and do-it-yourself monitoring form if one of you has gotten down to one of the ILIs. See the PHO clinic at the back of the Mr. Care's office. Now, a persistent problem on this pandemic, according to one of the authors, is the lack of clear messaging from governmental leadership, where she said, this is another unfortunate example of that trend. I do agree with this, especially if people do not understand and refuse to understand, as this virus is new, and what the Governor BAMBI EMANO have always said, every initiative being done to the province of Misamis Oriental, which is effective to contain and prevent the virus from infecting us, is correct. What is important here is there are people working so hard to protect all the people in the province of Misamis Oriental and explaining the reality of this COVID-19, as even the national heads of the government are in great turmoil sometimes on what to do, as they themselves do not understand why we have to do this. Every now and then there are changes in the findings, there are changes in the guidelines, there are changes in the protocols, as no one has definitive studies yet on this virus. Now, here, how is this COVID-19 transmitted to man? Or how can one be infected with this COVID-19? Pamina mo. Now, very low risk of transmission is from surfaces. Very low risk from outdoor activities. So, jogging, very low risk. Time to reduce panic about surface transmission. Very high risk from gatherings, especially in enclosed spaces, even at home. Now, who is expected to catch the coronavirus? To successfully infect you, the virus needs a dose of 1,000 viral particles to get inside your body, especially the lungs. So, 1,000 ka-COVID viruses ang ako'y pasabot sa viral particles. 1,000 ka-COVID viruses, aya ka magsakit. The following now is the typical environmental spread of activities. When you breathe without your face mask, it can spread 20 viral particles per minute. So, kumain kag 1,000, pila ka minutos? 50. Then you get 1,000. Speaking, tungod to mga tabian, 200 viral particles per minute. Per minute. So, it takes about 5 minutes only to infect one if you keep on speaking. Cough, nga mo ginatong gikadlukan sa tanan. 200 million particles, enough to remain in air for hours, katong nga nanatog aerosolization, especially in poorly ventilated rooms. Sneeze, 200 millions of viral particles also. So this is how one can be infected. So the use of face mask should be mandatory. Now, what are the scenarios wherein you can be infected? Being in the vicinity of someone, this becomes of low risk with the practice of physical distancing of 6 feet and to be around for less than 45 minutes in a person with COVID-19. Talk to someone with face mask and less than 4 minutes is a less risk. Ang mga chismusa o chismuso mamlilay o mga tabian, they are at high risk. Why? Makigtabi man sila for more than 4 minutes in one room or kay maghinunghunga man, itabi man. So, when someone passing you and you passing by only, that is low risk. Nang mag-agi lang, wala ka nakigstorya, wala tanan, ni-agi ka lang, that is low risk. Now, example, muagi lang sa area under lockdown because of COVID, that is low risk. Katwa, muagi sa area under lockdown, niagi lang ka, that is low risk. But if mag-standby ka, you become at high risk. And then you do not buy also your essential needs from that area which has COVID. Muli siya og talisayan. Muli dito sulat sa ako last week, Gob. Muli siya sa talisayan. Kay dito siya gikan, agi-agi siya dito sa high risk area. So, muli siya sa talisayan, kay dito daw siya mag-quarantine. Dako ka kung gibutang dito kang Ma'am Inday. No, do not bring the virus to the province of Misamis Oriental. Okay? Now, low risk also if offices are well ventilated with proper distancing. So, what are the high-risk areas? You have grocery shopping. You can reduce this, the risk of this becomes low by limiting time and follow proper hygiene. Now, indoor spaces, public toilets. So disinfection is very important, as what we've been doing already in the capital. Restaurants can be reduced also to low risk by sitting outdoors, distancing, and surface touch awareness. Workplaces, the schools, mo siguro na nga dili pa magklase until there is going to be a vaccine. Business conferences, arenas like sabong, concerts, and cinemas. So, look at the bottom factors. Indoors, narrow spaces, high people density, and longer exposure to people. So, what do? Stay safe, everyone. Follow protocols of the minimum health standards ug walay pilosopo sa pagsumpo sa COVID-19 from infecting you. Daghang salamat.
Chief, nakoy question, Chief ba? Sorry if I asked. 1,000 viral particles per minute. Viral BPB, viral 1,000. Ang ubo,
200 million, 200,000 kada ka mo ubo.
so if ever, Chief, kung na ako'y ubo, pila ako matakdan, Chief?
Wala, i-give up ka, nabot siya kay 1,000 naman, kaya
Oh.
may
200, more or less 200.
5 katao ang, on the average of 5 katao ang inyong matakdan in pag-ubo nimo kung nakay
Average
virus.
of 5.
Average of 5.
Kaysa ka ubo.
Kada ubo. Katusod na yung 5 gob, mo infect na sa to siya og taglima. So that's 25 already. Ang 25, mo paano sa to siya taglima, so magdaghan nga magdaghan.
Wow. So while we are often in a flag ceremony are given a short entertainment by our Misamis Oriental Department Heads Association, and since the Corona Challenge, some were able to prepare and others were not, and I had been in a couple of weeks trying to learn the social network. And there were things that I was able to chance upon na akong nakitaan ba, which I really want to share with you. And the things, actually, that we have taken for granted, things that I believe, that was free in before COVID, but now seems, if not very expensive already, very impossible if we are not able to find a vaccine or if we will not be immune of the virus. So let me share with you a short video.
I see a smile from the screens, Zoom calls too. I can't take it more. Don't know about you, and I think to myself, I miss that wonderful world. When the world was free, old folk walked for miles as people part. You could see their smiles, and I think to myself, that was a wonderful world. When outdoor exercising was more than just a wish, and hand sanitizer was so. Now this friend losing joy, watching loved ones pass away. If only we could get high to get through the day. As the months go by and our strength doesn't last, don't get you down, 'cause this too shall pass, and we'll go back into a new wonderful world. Yes, we'll go back into a new wonderful world.
So interesting that the things that used to be normal, no? Ang mabuhat kayo kani adto nga regular ba, usahay yun siya, we keep on looking on at things that we don't have, and yet we do not appreciate the things that we have. Basically, we wanted more, especially material things, but the basics were given free by our Creator. The air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the land where we step on, and every natural resource that was given already. And yet, we took it for granted. And there are now things, if we cannot find a solution to Corona, which was normal a couple of months ago. Normal a couple of months ago. And yet, your apo will never be able to experience them anymore. For me, if God willing, I get married if I have children. My children will not be able to live a normal life if we are not able to find a vaccine. And sometimes, they say that things happen for a reason. And there might be a reason why these things are happening right now. But at least, it woke us up into a reality that we are living in an earth that is alive, buhi nga kalibutan. Kabalo masakit, kabalo mo balos, kabalo mo pasensya, kabalo mo antos. And it's up to all of us now if we want that wonderful world. I saw another video clip which I want to share with you. I shared it earlier to NMMC because they invited me for a short message during their flag ceremony also. And this I dedicate to all our 8 hospitals. I saw this also. You might have seen all of this or some of this, but wanted to share with you because I know that it might encourage our frontliners to do even more. Show me the 8 hospitals. You know? The 8 hospitals, if they're here. MOPH ng Doc, this is for you. You know what I call you? All of my crippled, my doctors, my nurses, and all of you who work in the hospital, even to janitors, to watchmen. I call you my crippled ladies. I call you my crippled woman. Akong tawag niyo mga piang nga babay. Basin mo ingon mo, Doc, nga, Gob, gabihan ni mo, nagantos namin, nagsugwal namin sa among kinabuhi. Unya, piang lang yapon nga babae mong tawag sa among. Unsay pasabot ni mo, Gob, diferensyado lugar mi sa among hospital. No? Balingasag, and, nabatong balingasag. For you, Doc, and, this is Initaw. For you, and Magsaysay. I think we have 5 out of 8 hospitals. Dr. Banao, this is for you, Doc. No? For all my doctors in the hospitals. Sir Knight, Dr. Peralta, this is for you. I call you my crippled ladies, my crippled women. Very short, please. That is to all our frontliners in the hospitals, which says that you have given more than what has been expected of you. You have given something that you needed the most, and that is a healthy life for your wife, your children, and your families are all depending on you. And yet, you decided to stuck it out with us, with the Misamis Oriental Provincial Hospital. You decided to work with us, even if you knew the risk and the sacrifices that you will be all making. And for that, we are all very, very thankful. Earlier, I was talking to Chief Jerry, and we had done wonderful things for Misamis Oriental. Until today, we remain zero. Why? Because all the 3 cases that came out recently were imported. They were not locally transmitted. And yet, there are people until today like sharks in the seas, in the deep blue sea, waiting for Chief Jerry to commit a mistake. And for that matter, for me as governor, and even all our board members, our MODHA, and you, our hospitals. Murag mga iho ba, gahulat lang sila nga masayop ta. And kung masayop ta, grabe na dayon kayo ang ilang issue ug ang ilang pagpangguba. I told Jerry when we started, Chief Jerry, that Doc, you did already a wonderful job with the 8 hospitals. But sad to say that the problem that you are facing is not only COVID. You too are facing political challenges. And worst, they do not spare my political adversaries. Do not spare even professional doctors like you. Doctors like you and nurses, walay pasaylo. When I first decided that I will not chief or head the Miss or TF, it was the right and the best decision that I have ever made so far with this combating coronavirus. And yet, even with the wonderful things that Chief Jerry has done, there are still people, even politicians. He's not a politician. I don't care if a politician hits me. I don't care if a politician belittles me, but should not belittle my doctors, especially my task force chief and you. Because you are not politicians. You are just working. Katrabaho lang taon mo. And sad to say that there are a lot of people who are trying to destroy all of you. And would like to thank Inan. No, I think Inan, Dr. Inan, rose to the challenge. No, when the mayor of the city of Cagayan de Oro said that we were not prepared, he posted, nag-post down siya dito, na they are prepared. And it shows that Inan was not told to do that post or to put the post, but he himself made it a calling ba, no, to defend Misamis Oriental and its doctors. And for that, I call you my crippled lady, my heroes in the province of Misamis Oriental. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor BAMBI EMANO. Amidst this coronavirus pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, let it be every day a blessing sa ato agihapong tanan. Ilabi na naa ang labaw makagagahom nag-uban ka nato. Ning bahina, ladies and gentlemen, of course, kung acknowledge sa katahulambong Gobernador, inubanan siyempre nag-uban ka nato. Board Member Buboy Sabay, we have with us Dr. J. Kalingasan, our task force chief, and our task force spokesperson, Attorney Jeffrey Saclet. In the literal also, we have with us also Ma'am Lilay Ekot of the ECCD. This time, a turnover of the 30 sets of PPE. That includes the suit, the mask, the face shield, the gloves, the shoe cover, and the cap. And of course, the 3 containers of alcohol to the Bureau of Fire Protection Emergency Medical Service, Cagayan de Oro Fire District. So makita na ito mga kaigsunan, there you have it, a formal turnover of 30 sets of PPE to Fire Superintendent Alan Cabot, Fire Superintendent Gregorio Urbando, together with Senior Fire Officer 1 Victor Mantuhak, OIC of the Emergency Medical Services, and syempre pa ang nag-uban nato ang karon natong ihatag kaninyo para sa iyang mensahe from the recipient, Fire Superintendent Alan Cabot. Sir?
Maayong buntag sa tanan, ilaban na kay Gob, kay Dr. ug sa tanan nga mga kinuliang panalaligan atong mga department heads. Salamat kayo. Unang-unang nagpasalamat ko kay Gob kay nakita niya ang kakulangon sa amo ang gamit no sa Cagayan de Oro, no. Considering every time nga naami mga responses, no, ang amo ang personnel sa emergency medical service mao gyud pirmi gatawagon, no, sometimes kanang mga sari patients dayon gumikan kay limited ang amo ang resources, no, nakahurot gani sometimes magamit nila may recycle na mga PPEs para lang nga maprotektahan ang amo ang personnel. So salamat kayo Gob kay nakita ninyo ang amo ang kanang gikinahanglan no, kay og nila pa dili nato matag na akong until when mahuman kining pandemic. So nako kayo ni gamit sa amo. Pasalamat po ko sa akong classmate kay iya akong gi-repair, no, si Colonel Kyle Bambo. So we are living the same rope man diha nag-opisina man si nakita pud niya ang amog yung gikinahanglan. So usbon ako, salamat kayo unta dili mo ang untiring support no nga inyong kuan wala untay katapusan, no. Dili lang sa amo ang opisina kundi sa ubang usab nga mga frontliners. Again, salamat og maayong buntag.
Thank you so much, Fire Superintendent Alan A. Cabot. So, it's our pleasure. Inaot mga katabang no, diha sa atong Bureau of Fire Cagayan de Oro. Gob?
Yeah, up front, Superintendent Sir, my PD, no, maayong buntag. And first, it was the idea of my chief, no, to help all the national offices. And as I have said, we are very fortunate in the province of Misamis Oriental because we have a task force chief who's not a politician, who has no ambitions to become a politician, no? And that's why everything that he is doing is sincere versus, no, anang mga uban diya nga pangguba pagani taon sa iya. And of course, naman po din si Dr. Si Madam Rosette, diba? Nagotahon sa wala lang pabor-pabor, chief ba? Pabor-pabor, no? And we hope that we will be able to give you more, and we have been doing it already in all other national offices. And as long as there are funds from the province of Misamis Oriental, there are soft-hearted donors who will be giving donations. We will never stop helping, distributing what we can afford in the province of Misamis Oriental. Thank you for protecting us, especially during fire. Not anymore fire, but COVID as well. You know? And ingon sila kaning sunog ba, pait kayo, murag namatyan, puro tatong gamit ba, murag nawadan kinabuhi. And yet, a lot of you had sacrificed also. Not only during COVID, but every time you fight fire. Every time na mubagting ang sirin. No? Every time there is a sirin, there is always a risk for our firefighters. It's not much what my chief had given you. But I hope that it will be able to help you continue what you want to, what the task, the challenges that we are all facing. And kung mahurot, kung napay among mapalit ni Chief Jerry, di sabi mo undang tabang sa inyo. Salamat kayo. Soup, Kabot, Soup, PD, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Governor Bambi EMANO. And of course, thank you so much, our Fire Superintendent Alan A. Cabot of the Bureau of Fire Protection Emergency Medical Service, Cagayan de Oro Fire District. All right? This time, ladies and gentlemen, while gipagawas ang ato ang donation, ang ato ang assistance sa ato ang Cagayan de Oro City Fire District or the COFD. Up next, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, another turnover of check. Ladies and gentlemen, worth 25,000 pesos for the financial assistance to helping makeup artist Cagayan de Oro. I'd like to give to you Mr.
Morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Today, another beautiful day, especially for the pink community. No, ever since the coronavirus shook the lives, our normal lives, one of the hardest hit sector is kaning mga makeup artists, no, and events organizers. In fact, when the pandemic started or the crisis started in the province of Misamis Oriental, Governor BAMBI EMANO readily extended help and assistance to those who have been involved in the tourism-related activities of the provincial government of Misamis Oriental. And this time, he has even expanded this assistance to a group of makeup artists and designers in Cagayan de Oro City who organized themselves to be able to help those who belong to the LGBT community, especially mga makeup artists, mga designers, and uban pa nga mga LGBT community members that have been affected by this crisis. So more than 100 individuals kani sila nga mga parehas na og dugo sa syudad sa Cagayan de Oro who really reach out to the provincial government for some assistance nga ilang mahatag pod sa ilang mga members. And this project nga ilang gibuhat is called HMUA. Ang meaning unta sa HMUA is hair and makeup artist, but ilang gibutangag title nga helping makeup artists. And this group is headed by the project head, the legendary Alexander Alex Janelza. So today, Governor BAMBI EMANO is going to turn over 25,000 pesos worth of check to their group.
Wow! Ayan, with Mr. Alexander Henelza, of course, is Mr. Sheldon Frias and Mr. Alkin Kapatan. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. Naado sa tourism office ang iyang kauban. Wow! Thank you so much. Ay. Mga shopa. Ayan, thank you so much. Another round of applause, please. And I hope dako og makatabang nining ato ang gihatag para sa helping makeup artists. Ayan. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, another ceremonial turnover of financial assistance to the active city and municipal CDWs and 2019 retired city and municipal child development workers. I'd like to give to you, for the message and briefer, Ms. Meridon Okot, the provincial ECCD officer, ma'am.
Mayong buntag sa tanan, labi na kang Governor BAMBI EMANO. Uban ka nato karong buntaga ang atong kadaiyang Municipal Social Welfare and Development Officer sa kadaiyang kalungsuran sa lalawigan uban sa pipila ka mga child development workers sa lalawigan. Matag ikaduhang semana sa bulan sa Hunyo kada tuig, ginaselebrar ang Child Development Workers Week nga adunay tema karong tuiga nga Hero, H for Hope, E for Exemplar, R for Resilient, and O for Optimist, Hero of the Children in this time of pandemic. Karong tuiga unta ang maong pinakaunang Child Development Workers Week nga pagabuhaton sa opisina sa Provincial ECCD sa Intero Misamis Oriental. Kini nga kalihukan pagatigumon ang tanang child development workers sa lalawigan, isip pagpasalamat sa tanang sakripisyo ug paghatag dungog sa tanang nahimo sa matag child development workers ngadto sa atong mga kabataan sa lalawigan. Apan tungod sa hulga sa makamatay nga sakit nga COVID-19, ang buhatan may desisyon nga ang maong kalihukan pagkakansilahon. Maskin pa man sa kapitos sa atong kahimtang, ipaningkamutan ni Governor BAMBI EMANO nga naay matunol ug mahatagan gihapon og pasidungog ang atong mga CDWs. This is our way to give back for the efforts they have made for our children. Mao nga atong pagahimuon ang ceremonial turnover of the cash assistance sa mga aktibo ni retiro lakip na niini atong loyalty or length of service awards sa mga child development workers nga panguluhan karon ni Governor BAMBI EMANO, and of course ang chairman on education, board member Buboy Sabal, together with our task force chief Doc Jerry Kalingasan. Ang tanang aktibo nga mga CDWs makadawat og tag 500 pesos. Ang mga CDWs nga nakaserbisyo sa mga kabataan nga milungtad sa 15 to 20 years makadawat og 1,500 pesos each. 2,000 pesos each usab ang makadawat para sa mga CDWs who have rendered 21 to 25 years in service. 26 years pataas adunay pagadawaton nga 2,500 each. And of course, wala silang dahonggog nga ang atong mga retirees will receive 10,000 pesos each. So 10,000 ka pesos ang nadawat sa atong mga retirees. Kini usa lamang sa mga ginagmayng butang kumpara sa dedikasyon ug suporta nga inyong gihatag sa atong kabataan sa lalawigan. Ang total amount nga atong itunol karong buntaga isip sa pagsaulog sa CDW Week 2020 mikabat sa 994,500 para sa atong 726 Child Development Centers sa lalawigan. Salamat.
Ayan, so you're now seeing, no? Kamulo niyo ang galantawon diha sa inyong mga screens ang pagpural na pag-turnover ni aning 994,500 pesos para sa atong child development workers of Misamis Oriental. Yan, thank you and congratulations. This time, ladies and gentlemen, sa ato ang mga ECCD workers, our also heroes, we'd like to present to you a video clip, the distribution of cash assistance to the active and 2019 retired city and municipal child development workers. Roll video, please. that wonderful presentation. And at this point, paghatag nining iyahang pagpasalamat ang ato ang retired CDW or Child Development Worker from Hitagom, Miss Emma Banuag. Ma'am?
Daghang kayo salamat, Gobernador BAMBI EMANO, sa cash incentives nga gihatag kanamo nga mga retiree. Dako na kini katabang kanamo ko, labi na nga wala din minagdahog nga ingon ani kadako ang among madawat. So daghang kayo salamat, labi na usab sa imong staff nga gihatod ang cash na 10,000 dinhi sa amo ang lungsod. Daghang salamat dinhi sa lungsod sa Gitagom. Daghang kayong salamat.
Thank you, Ma'am Emma Banuag. And another, pagpasalamat gikan sa atong Child Development Worker, Misamis Oriental Federation President, Ms. Marilyn Emia.
Akong pagtahon sa atong Provincial Governor, Honorable Eugene Vicente B. EMANO, sa mga kauban ko ng mga Child Development Workers, karong bulana, atong gisaulog ang Child Development Workers Week 2020 nga nagdala sa tema Child Development Workers Hero, Hope, Exemplar, Resilient, Optimist of the Children in the Time of Pandemic. Sa ngalan sa mga Child Development Workers, ako magaingon, dako ang among kalipay ug dili masukod sa pulong ang among pagpasalamat sa Provincial Governor sa kanunay nga pagsuporta ug paghunahuna kanamo taliwala sa kalisod karon sa panahon. Ang iyang kaikag ug gugma sa pagpahalipay kanamo iya kining gipaabot sa tagsa-tagsa kanamo nga mga munisipyo ug siyudad sa Misamis Oriental. Aron amo gyung mismo nga mabasa ug madawat ang iyang thank you card, certificate of appreciation ug labaw sa tanan ang among cash incentive. Diin dako kini nga makatabang kanamo ug sa among pamilya. Dili kini namo malimtan, Governor, ug hinaot nga magpabilin kini nga gawi sa kada tuig. Ug dinhi na lang ako taman ug kami magaingon nga daghan kaayong salamat sa tibuok pwersa sa Governor's Office of Misamis Oriental ug kami manghinaot nga ang Ginoo magauban kanunay kaninyo.
Thank you so much, Ma'am. The Child Development Workers. Ug ning bahina matag simana ang ato ang accomplishment for the week for the video presentation. Roll please.
We are actually building and forming once again the future with a new normal challenger.
The 10th virtual flag raising ceremony held on June 8, 2020, Monday, hosted by the Mr. Cares 24/7, marked another week of commitment and dedication of service by employees of the provincial capital. Forced apart by the coronavirus pandemic, the activity highlights on the formal launching of the Brigada Eskwela 2020 in the entire province of Misamis Oriental, where the good Governor BAMBI EMANO donated over 13 million pesos to the Department of Education in support for the said program. Mat-E Central School received over 7.1 million pesos for the construction of their covered court with stage and comfort room, while the Initaw Comprehensive High School also received a separate 2.5 million pesos as assistance to be used for school improvement. Also, Governor BAMBI EMANO handed out 3 million pesos to DepEd intended for distribution to the 421 schools in the entire Misamis Oriental. The amount was taken out from the local school board fund. The activity was attended by board member Gerardo Boboy Sabal III, being the chair for Education, Culture and Arts, Schools Division Superintendent Mr. Jonathan de la Peña, and members of the local school board, while principals and teachers linked up in a teleconference via the Google Meet to officially kick off Brigada Eskwela. Governor BAMBI EMANO in his message reiterated that he truly understands the challenges and sentiments brought about by the new normal because of COVID-19. However, notwithstanding the prevailing setting, he wants to ensure that quality basic education will still continue despite the threat in adapting to the new normal in school. Also on that day, a total of 120 complete set of personal protective equipment was handed out by the Provincial Task Force for COVID-19 to the Aviation Security Unit 10, whose main task is to secure the Laguindingan Airport. In a ceremonial turnover, the Chief of AVCU 10, Police Colonel Ranil Valones, personally received the PPE suits for his men who are in the front lines of fighting COVID-19. The governor wants to make certain that personnel from the airport security won't be infected with the dreadful virus, especially now that the airport is accepting commercial flights from other parts of the country. The following day, members from the aviation security group was seen wearing their PPE suits the province gave them while attending to passengers at the airport. Still on Monday, Governor BAMBI EMANO, through the Provincial Health Office, announced that the province of Misamis Oriental will no longer implement the travel pass. However, the police will strictly require travel authority for those who wish to enter and leave the province. A civilian other than the APOR or authorized persons outside residence is required to get a certificate of residence from his or her barangay, a medical certificate from the Rural Health Unit stating that the person is not under monitoring or investigation before he or she can finally get a travel authority issued by the Chief of Police from the municipal or city police station. The governor clarified the issuance of travel authority is not within his mandate but of the National Interagency Task Force and DILG, which is beyond his control. That same day, all job order and casual employees from the 8 province-run hospitals in Misamis Oriental rejoiced over unexpected news from the chief of the provincial hospital. Dr. Jerry Kalingasan revealed in excitement that their job contracts with the provincial government are automatically renewed. This initiative of Governor BAMBI EMANO is to alleviate and uplift the hardworking frontliners amid the current health crisis. He is convinced that the containment efforts of the province's medical workers have placed the pandemic under control.
Dako ang among pasalamat kay Governor BAMBI EMANO sa automatic renewal para sa among mga casual o job order.
Governor BAMBI, kami na ginaot na magpadayon ng inyong maayong pagserbisyo sa katawan sa Misamis Oriental. Ug aniya kami nga andalo alagad uban kanimo. Sa mausab pa, daghang kaayong salamat Governor BAMBI EMANO.
Governor Bambi, together with Doc Jerry, also called on to Misamisnans that while the province continued to ramp up its fight against the coronavirus, it cannot drop its guard against its old foe, the dengue. Despite the drop in dengue cases in Misamis Oriental, PHO underscored how everyone should still be vigilant and observe proper measures in preventing the spread of dengue, especially in communities this rainy season. The office is currently working to educate local government units on how to handle COVID-19 and dengue separately. On Tuesday, June 9, 2020, candidates for Miss Philippines Earth 2020 were all glammed up in locally designed pieces as they walked on makeshift runways, either in their homes or big space. In the case of Miss Miss 2020, Isobel Tianyo from Opol Misamis Oriental, she joined the virtual long gown competition Tuesday afternoon from the City Hall of El Salvador, Misamis Oriental. Streamed live on Facebook, she flaunted her beauty wearing Gigi Aisa's masterpiece. The Provincial Tourism Officer, Attorney Jeffrey Saclot, have always been supporting the journey of Tianyo and the rest of the candidates representing the province of Misamis Oriental. Also on Tuesday, the Misamis Oriental Provincial Jail revealed the proposed isolation facility to rise inside the compound of MOPJ purposely for persons deprived of liberty who are considered PUMs and PUIs. Engineering and architectural recommendations have already been submitted by the Provincial Engineering Office through its head engineer Mario Batar. The more or less 400,000 pesos 14-bed capacity isolation unit is designed to make sure potential COVID-19 carriers are kept separate from inmates until they complete the mandatory 14-day quarantine period and be cleared to be transferred in the cell. Governor Bambi EMANO was compelled to act urgently following an overcrowded prison. He said it is essential that jail officers and staff are working closely to ensure no one ill is entering the facility to protect other PDLs, especially the vulnerable ones.
Okay, so balik ta mga kalambo sa itong tulong. Medyo apikir ta sa oras. Adlaw mo nga Martes ang accomplishment report ni Governor Bambi Taman. Karon atong gi-aired mga kalambo. So i-continue ta niyo mapong adlaw. Unsa ba nahimo po niya by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday up to Saturday mga kalambo, di ba? Kaya maikog po ta mga kalambo nga nahurot na itong oras sa ato pong mga nakahukap ng mga radio station karon mga panahon na mga kalambo. Sa ato sa Chief of Police sa may lungkod sa Villanueva, pinagin ni grabe yung binakpa
RPN, Radio Philippines Network Incorporated, DXKO. 13 sa Dial sa inyong radyo.